Imagine waking up one morning and deciding, forget everything. I'm tearing down the world, Andre building it around one single idea. That's exactly what one pharaoh did, a ruler who tried to erase centuries of tradition. A king whose legacy was nearly wiped off the map. His name? Akhenaten, the Egyptian king the world tried to forget. Let's dive into the wild, mysterious, and almost unbelievable story of the man who tried to rewrite Egypt itself. Part 1. Who was Akhenaten really? Akhenaten ruled Egypt during the 18th dynasty, around 1353 to 1336 BC. But he wasn't born Akhenaten. His real name was Amenhotep IV, a name tied to the god Amun. He was the son of Pharaoh Amenhotep III and Queen Tiye. He wasn't supposed to rule. His older brother Thutmose died young, and suddenly the crown landed on his head. At first, Amenhotep IV played by the rules. He honored the traditional gods. He followed the rituals. But then everything changed. Part 2. The Great Religious Revolution. Around the 5th year of his reign, he dropped a bombshell. He changed his name to Akhenaten, meaning effective for the Aten, and with that, he sparked one of the most dramatic religious revolutions in history. He declared that Aten, the radiant sun disk, was the one true god. Forget the dozens of Egyptian gods people had worshipped for centuries. Gods like Ra, Osiris, Isis, Amun, all gone. He shut down temples, erased the names of old gods, and shifted worship entirely to the Aten. Some call it the first form of monotheism in human history. Imagine how shocking that must have been, priests furious, citizens confused, entire traditions uprooted overnight. This wasn't just a new religion. It was a total power shift. Part 3. A new city for a new god. Akhenaten didn't stop there. He decided the old capital, Thebes, was too tied to the old gods. So he built a brand new city in the desert, Akhenaten, the horizon of the Aten. Today we call it Amarna. It rose from the sand like something out of a dream, temples open to the sun, palaces for the royal family, homes for thousands of workers. Everything was centered on light, air, and devotion to Aten. He even built boundary markers around the city carved into cliffs, declaring it sacred land revealed by the sun god himself. But here's the eerie part. After Akhenaten's death, the city was abandoned. Its stones stripped. Its temples buried by time. A ghost city of a forgotten faith. Part 4. The art that shocked Egypt. If you think Egyptian art always looks the same, stiff poses, perfect bodies, stone faces, Akhenaten broke every rule. He ordered artists to create realistic emotional scenes. Statues showed him and his wife Nefertiti holding their children, kissing them, playing under Aten's rays. And Akhenaten himself? He looked different. He's shown with a long face, a soft belly, wide hips, and slender limbs. Some thought it meant he had a disease like Marfan syndrome. Others think it was symbolic, showing that he was both male and female, like the sun god who gave life to all. Whatever the reason, the art from Akhenaten's reign is stunningly unique. More human, more intimate, more alive than almost anything else from ancient Egypt. Part 5. Enemies in the shadows. But not everyone was happy. Egypt's powerful priests, especially those of Amun, were furious. Akhenaten had stripped them of power, land, and wealth. Foreign affairs started slipping too. Letters from his reign show desperate pleas from Egypt's allies, begging for military help, but Akhenaten seemed too focused on religion to care. To his followers, he was a prophet. To his enemies, a tyrant obsessed with his own vision. He isolated himself in Amarna, surrounded by loyalists and family. Outside the city walls, resentment brewed. Part 6. The Family and the Future. Akhenaten ruled alongside the legendary Queen Nefertiti, who wasn't just a queen, she was almost a co-ruler. They had several daughters, and possibly a son, Tutankhaten, who you probably know better as Tutankhamun. After Akhenaten's death, chaos followed. Nefertiti may have ruled briefly, or another mysterious figure named Smenkhkare. But soon, Tutankhaten became king and changed his name to Tutankhamun, restoring the old gods and temples. In a matter of years, everything Akhenaten built, religion, art, city, was dismantled. His statues smashed. His name chiseled off walls. His memory officially condemned. Part 7, the Pharaoh erased. Ancient Egyptians practiced something called damnatio memoriae, the erasing of a person's name and image to destroy their soul in the afterlife. That's what they did to Akhenaten. He was wiped from king lists. His monuments destroyed. His city forgotten under the sand. It's almost poetic. A man who worshipped the sun was erased, buried in darkness for thousands of years. It wasn't until modern archaeology uncovered Amarna in the 19th century that the world rediscovered this lost pharaoh. Part 8, the mystery of his death. How Akhenaten died remains one of Egypt's great mysteries. No one knows for sure if it was illness, assassination, or natural causes. Some think his body was found in tomb KV55 in the Valley of the Kings, possibly alongside family members. DNA tests suggest the mummy found there could be Tutankhamun's father, which fits Akhenaten's story. But even now we can't say for certain. He remains one of history's most intriguing question marks. Part 9, the man who may have inspired Moses? Here's a wild thought. Some historians have drawn connections between Akhenaten's worship of one god and the birth of monotheism in the Hebrew Bible. Could his revolution have inspired the idea of one all-powerful God that later shaped Judaism, Christianity, and Islam? No one knows for sure, but it's fascinating to think about. Akhenaten's obsession with a single divine source of light feels eerily familiar, doesn't it? Part 10, why Akhenaten still matters. Akhenaten wasn't just a pharaoh. He was a visionary, a dreamer, maybe even a fanatic. He risked everything to reshape his world, and for a brief moment, he succeeded. He changed art, religion, politics, everything. And though Egypt tried to erase him, his story survived, carved into stone and whispered through time. Today, he's a symbol of how far people will go for their beliefs, and how history has a way of remembering even those it tried hardest to forget. Akhenaten's legacy is a paradox, a man who vanished, yet never truly disappeared. He tried to bring light to Egypt, and in doing so, cast one of history's longest shadows. So what do you think? Was Akhenaten a visionary ahead of his time, or a delusional ruler who lost touch with reality? Tell me in the comments, I'd love to hear your take. And if you enjoyed exploring this lost chapter of ancient Egypt, don't forget to like, subscribe, and ring the bell so you never miss more fascinating stories from history's hidden corners. Because sometimes the past we try to forget is the one that teaches us the most.